Hi guys, this is Carrie and you're watching A Crone's Life. I decided to do a video response to a hashtag that's just now going around. I'm actually kind of on the ball with this one. I'm on time with this one. It's the hashtag 54321, and so basically I picked 5 tarot decks for whatever reason, and 4 books, and 3 spreads, tarot spreads, and 2 paraphernalia is what I chose. I think the other one was practices. Habits. I don't really have any habits, so I picked paraphernalia, and then 1 piece of advice. Another thing you could choose instead of the other one, you could do 1 piece of advice or 1 card that you wish you could embody or be like, or a card that you do think you are very much like, and the reason why you think that. So I change all the time. I don't think I could pick the card choice. So we'll do top down for my decks, and I've got there's 2 books that I'm reading online, so I've just got pictures to plug in somewhere to show you what I'm reading online. And 3, what was 3 again? 3 paraphernalia. I'll have to walk you around the room. My house is still so full of my mother's stuff. I'm struggling getting rid of it. I can't make myself get rid of some things, and some things are so small, it's like, but why? They just take up this much space, and then you put like this many together. I have 1,000 things that are this big. I can't get rid of any of them. Anyway, my mom's doing great, by the way. She's settling into her apartment, and yeah, I've got to get on a schedule bringing her over here. I'd love to put her in front of the camera just to see what she says. She cracks me up, but she needs teeth, and there's been a whole slew of things that have gone haywire, so we'll get her ready for it. But for now, we are going to do the top down for my 5 decks. I chose to do 5 decks that I'd like to work with during the fall. So with the first day of autumn coming up in 3 days, it'll probably be sooner. It might just be the first day of fall when I post this, but with the first day of fall coming up, I thought this is a good time to really consider what different decks I want to work with, what I'm trading out, and what I'm going to bring in. There's so many that I haven't worked with yet that I had a lot of options, but I wanted to get that fall feeling, that earthy feeling, changing of the seasons, transitional feeling on this next set of decks. So without further ado, let's look at it down. So, lighting a candle, mostly because I love the fragrance, not because of any particular ritual. This is ash and fir, cedar, balsam wood, citrus, and rosemary. It seems to fit the time period. Alright, that's going to smoke just a smidge, so hopefully it won't bother us. But, so 5 decks that I want to work with this fall. The first one is the Tarot of the Toiling Hands. I cannot remember the last time I worked with this deck. It may have been 2 years now. I used to travel with my daughter. She is doing her work in entomology. She's studying entomology, and we had to go to Fayetteville, Arkansas while she was pregnant. So, oh, that would have just been last year then. I believe I took this with me. So this is the little white book, which it's more of a pamphlet, but it's still lovely. very informative, actually. I really should read every guidebook that I own just to make sure that I am getting that knowledge from the creators. I think that it would probably be very good for me. So, these might be in order because, again, I have cataloged a lot of things, and during the cataloging process I just make sure that everything is in order. So, how is that? It's not too glare. I fell in love with this deck so hard. I really felt like I should get more black and white decks. I'm getting one from Kickstarter that is a Viking/Norse deck. I'm not sure how happy I am with it. I believe it is AI collaborative, which isn't the problem, but this particular company has been kind of lazy with the work that they do, AI collaborative work that they do, and I'm just afraid that it might be disappointing. So I'm not really looking forward to it. I think if I had the choice to go back in time, I probably would not have ordered that deck, or, excuse me, I would not have backed it on Kickstarter. That's just how I feel right now, but maybe when I get it, I'll fall in love with it also. I have all my sage just floating around on everything. One thing about this deck that I've always appreciated is the clever titles that he gave the, goodness gracious, so sorry. The clever titles that he gave each of the cards. So this is the Six of Wands, the Esteemed Master of Great Success, Seven of Wands, Tenacious God of Competition and Domination, or Dominion, sorry. I just filled that in with my own head. I was like, woohoo, I know what that says. Of course, the Lord of Harsh Fleeting Burden, the Ten of Wands. It's clever, and I just think it's very cute. So I appreciate that. It's a little extra and very well done, in my opinion. The artwork is so lovely. I believe the artist is a tattoo artist, and they had a break, so they, I don't know if this was during COVID. It could have been before COVID that they did the artwork for this, and I think it was to supplement their income. So, King of Cups, last one, and then we'll go on to number 2. The second deck that I'd like to work with more this fall is the Stunning Tarot by Johannes Jas. I got the second edition. Again, I'm not really sure the last time I worked with this deck. I've looked at it and I've looked through it several times since I've worked with it last, but actually doing a spread, it's been a minute. So I'll be happy to refresh my knowledge of this deck, kind of get to know it again. Okay, we ended with the King of Coins on this one. This is the backs. I don't know that I showed you the backs of my other ones, so let's just pull them out. It's really the same as this, but no, it's not. It's not at all the same as that, but this is the backs to my first deck. These are the backs to the Stunning Tarot. And I'll be back with number 3. And number 3 is the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot. Not sure the artist. Lindsay Silverman. I've used this quite a few times, and I just feel like it is a great fall deck. It gets you in the mood for Samhain. It gets you in the mood for cooler weather. These are the backs. And these are gilded. Oh, that candle just smells so good. Oh. So for these fall decks, I don't imagine that I will need more than 5 decks just for the season, but I may pull out different decks during this time. I like to change my daily card draw deck every week, and you know, that's quite a few weeks, so I may only change it every 2 weeks. We'll just see how it works. It's become a new thing I've been doing, is documenting my daily card draw. Everyone tells you to do that when you first start reading tarot, and how many of us really follow advice that we get when we first start reading? But it has been very educational. And not only that, it gets me closer to these decks. And the Spirit of Wands is the last one. The Intuitive Night Goddess and Lindsay Silverman, and I will be right back with number 4. Okay, number 4 is Sergio Topi's Primordial Tarot. Honestly, I've played with this deck a few times, but I've never worked with it. This is the guidebook. It's fairly chunky. There's a lot of spreads in here. I've enjoyed that part of it. These are the backs. They're pretty glossy. I'm not going to say very glossy, but they're pretty glossy. They're not gilded. This is that earthy feeling, the, you know, feeling ancestors, or, you know, if you have any draw to your primordial ancestors, this might be a great deck for you. I've joked around about doing a video. Honestly, I'm not going to, because it seems kind of rude, but I have some decks that I really, really enjoy, but there's just one card. Like, one card makes it just not
quite right, and this is one of those decks. I'm not going to point out the card because I'm sure everybody's got their own idea of what's goofy or what's silly or what's, you know, I would say intolerable, but that's not true. It's just something that might bug you about a deck, so I'm not going to point it out. It's just, I laugh every time I think about it. I believe it was Rummer Haven sort of did this kind of thing. She brought out a bunch of decks and she said, you know, there's this one card. She showed us all the things that she thought about these particular cards, and it's like, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And she's so right that I just feel like, well, I'm not going to do that because it would just mess up myself as well as anybody else watching. Okay, the King of Cups is the last one. And that's the Primordial Tarot by Sergio Topi. The last deck that I'd like to work with in the fall is the Margaret Peterson Tarot. My particular deck, version of this deck, is in German. And, you know, I did not know it when I bought it because I wanted these color edges. These are the backs. I liked the darker background. Oh wow, did I get something on them? I have misused these cards. Oh my goodness. I must have spilled coffee or something. That's terrible. Well, then I may just get the English version at some point anyway. Goodness, that's kind of a mess. Wow. Look at that. I would say well loved, but I wouldn't treat my cards that way if I really loved them. That's mean. Okay, so maybe I'll replace this deck and just use this one for all the rough housing I might do. But anyway, I was saying I got it in German because I wanted this color of edges. When I got it, I realized, oh, well, it's in German, but it's really fine. I mean, I don't know German per se, but I know how to count in German. It's not a funny story. It's just a fact. If you have a craft that you like to do, sometimes you come across patterns and instructions that are in another language and you have to just kind of figure it out, work through it. And in crochet, there's a lot of patterns that are in German and Dutch. So I actually learned how to count in Dutch and in German. Of course, when I was in high school, count in Spanish and French, but the rest of it you could just put together. I mean, it's common sense, kind of. So anyway, whatever I don't get, I can figure out with Google Translate. Oh, that one is in rough shape. Goodness, I've done something horrible. I'll replace it. Definitely, definitely. But this deck feels very fall to me, and maybe it's the color of the edges, or maybe it's the artwork, but it's very transitional to me. It feels like it's moving me forward. So this is deck number 5 that I'm going to work with in the fall. And the second category is 4 books. 4 books that you are reading or working in or some such. So I have 4 books. 1 second. Four books for Well, just that I'm working with right now. The first one is this one I got with my Kickstarter. I backed the Golden Lilifer Tarot, and I got the Reclaim Oracle as an add-on, and this journal as an add-on also. I have not started in it, and I got some very good advice from, oh my gosh, I was watching them today. I don't think it was Project Refined Life. I believe it was someone else. Maybe it was Little Pink Bear, Kelly Bear, who started this tag. She said that, oh, it definitely was. So Kelly said that she loves these kind of journals, but she always wants to do them more than once. So she doesn't actually write in her journal. She keeps a separate book that she does the exercises in so that she can continue to go back and do this work over and over again. And I thought that is a fantastic idea. So I may end up doing either that or something similar. That's my first book. My second book is actually my journal, because this is a new one. This is my old one, and really my old one is just random thoughts and things that I was trying to learn. So I have my Elder Futhark in here. I have a lot of the zodiac stuff I'm trying to memorize in here. This was my learning journal, and I decided to try this year to be more organized, maybe. So I am taking my drawing for the day, the card that I draw for the day, and it's the Lilifer Tarot, and I'm answering certain questions about it, like if I pulled the Five of Cups, how am I the Five of Cups? And I want to keep track of the moon and the zodiac that the moon is in. I think that that might help me learn more about the zodiac. I've always been very kind of flippant about the zodiac, and now I'm wishing that I'd spent more time just learning more about it. So I don't think this is cheating, but this is my number 2 book. My number 3 book, let's see, I'll just put this like this. My number 3 book I'll try to put right here. It is my Your Head is a Houseboat, and it is written by, I should have written it down, Scuttlebutt. That's not right. I'll have everything written at the bottom because I do this all the time. Anyway, he's an artist and he does a lot of graphic design and kind of modern advertising type art, and I guess he had struggles like most people do and decided that journaling was the answer, and he's passed on his journaling techniques and advice to us in the book. And my head is a houseboat. I've been enjoying it, and I'm taking it really slow because it also has some exercises in it, journaling exercises. So there's that one. And then number 4 is Kitchen Table Tarot. Again, I don't know the person's name that's writing it. I'll have it in the picture, I'm sure, but I'll put it down at the bottom. So that's 4 books that I'm into right now. And also I want to just mention that reading guidebooks is becoming a thing for me. I got the Sun and Moon Tarot, and I was fascinated by the guidebook. It's so teeny tiny, but it's so full of information. I just want to read it over and over and over again until I've memorized all the information. And it does make me want to go back and read a lot of other guidebooks as well. So that is my 4 books that I'm into right now. It's me again. So I'm not sure how I'm going to cut this because I believe I jumped from 4 books to 2 paraphernalia.
but don't worry, I think I can do the editing and that's not going to be a problem. But number 3, kind of in between those two things, is 3 tarot spreads. And the only tarot spreads that I really use are my full moon tarot spread, my new moon tarot spread, and my daily drawing at my altar. Those are the only consistent spreads that I use. And I know a daily drawing is not a spread, but I'm gonna use that as my spread because that's what I use. I will again have graphics. Maybe I'll do it on this side. That looks like there's plenty of room over here. You can see the 3 different spreads. I also would love to share some pictures of the last new moon ritual that I did. Yes, new moon ritual is in Libra, and so I have my spread laid out. I've got my ancestor stuff, got my candles. It's looking really cute. Yeah. Had a very good time. I feel like I'm really coming into the rhythm of doing these rituals, and there's a mindset that you find yourself kind of seeping into when you get comfortable doing the rituals, and I'm so glad that I did. I can't imagine not coming to this place in my life and being able to freely play with my tarot and journaling. It's been awesome. And I don't know if you can tell by this desk, but I have a lot of trinkets. I've probably told the story too many times and everybody's tired of hearing it. My mom, we're selling her house, and so I've gone through to get all of our memorabilia out, and I'm telling you, she was not a witch, but boy, she acted like one. She had so many crazy witchy things. I couldn't throw anything away, so I'm not stuck. I am stuck with some things that I can't get rid of. This, for instance, is so... Anyway, it's ridiculous. The things that I've picked up. I got a teddy bear. She never even took the tags off of it. It's not very witchy. I'm not saying that's witchy, but yeah, she's got all these incense oils. She collected little things, which reminds me of the witchy wallflower. She has all these tiny little just things. There's a little funnel. What is this for? I don't even know, but it's so funny. And then, oh, this was one that just cracked me up. She's got a little wasp's nest here. What in the world? I can't help it. It just cracks me up. And then all of her jewelry, kind of junk jewelry, but it's pretty. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a hoarder. Please don't think I'm a hoarder, but I have a hard time with things that are kind of precious. And you know, when you touch something and you know this is precious, you feel it. It has its own energy, and there's something in there that's more than just a rock, and there's no explaining it. It's just what it is. It's full of something, and I can't just throw that energy away. So I know very little about crystals, but when I come across crystals, I do keep them. I can't say I collect them. That's not exactly the way it feels. I do keep them. I find new homes for them if it's not something that I particularly use or want, but I don't let a good crystal just go by. So paraphernalia, I think I'm saying crystals and my mother's trinkets. I did want to also mention, just because this happened today, someone that I ordered a deck from got my name and address mixed up with another client of theirs, and they sent me
And this was free because it was totally her mistake. She sent me the order that someone else had. So this happens to me sometimes, and it's unexplainable to me. I know it probably doesn't mean anything to anybody else, and it's just like, oh yeah, that's no big deal, whatever. It's just a mistake. That happens, whatever. But it was a big deal to me because I never would have ordered this for myself. But this was what she ordered. And it came to me, and I thought, how strange. How very strange. So it's sitting here with me now. This came in the package. I never would have ordered these for myself. And this worry stone, at least that's what we call them, worry stones. Maybe it's a palm stone. This came in the package. And my mom's trinket that it kind of goes with is this little ceramic thing that she had growing up. It's a little mushroom that matches these guys in a way. And I don't know. I wanted to mention this, and I will have the name of the shop and the sweet lady that made a mistake and sent me something totally unexpected. If I could think of it, I would tell you. Gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue, like everything else. So, Mom's trinkets. I'm going to flash my altar pictures up because my altar has like all these trinkets, and it's very important to my practice. My altar asks the questions to the universe for me. I mean, it's a ongoing question. Right now it's, who am I? And I have my little dolls that have no personalities, they're empty, they're blank. And I have, other things on my altar right now that are kind of generic, or maybe just, I don't know, they feel blank to me, so that I can fill that space with the answer, which is my drawing for the day, my card that I pull for every day. And I'll make sure that you see some nice photographs of that, and then we'll move on. Number one is advice, because I don't really have a card that I'd like to talk about being. I mean, I could tell you what my card was for today, but I think I already showed my journal, so it doesn't really matter. My advice to anyone trying to stick with tarot or feeling beginner-ish at tarot, my advice is don't give up, because you may not see yourself continuing, you may not be able to project that image of yourself as a tarot reader at this point, but if you just stick to it and you do make a habit out of it and you do make it part of your life, it doesn't have to be every single day. Don't beat yourself up if you can't get a rhythm. Eventually, if you stick with it long enough, it's just going to become second nature. And if you want it to be a part of yourself, if you want to have it as a part of you, I would say just don't give up. There's so many resources out there. There's books and there's the internet, and you'll see on the tarot spreads that I share with you, Labyrinthios, I believe, is the website. They have every kind of resource that's absolutely free to learn tarot, Marseille, Lenormand, anything that just calls to you. Of course, everything calls to me, and I want to know everything. So I'm doing the same thing. I just keep trudging on. I mean, I'm not giving up, and I don't think if you have a desire, like if it's in your heart to just figure this out, then stick with it. That's all there's to it. So 5 decks to work with through the fall was Tarot of the Toiling Hands, the Stunning Tarot, 2nd edition, the Intuitive Night Goddess, the Primordial Tarot, and the Margaret Tarot are my 5 decks. My 4 books are the Reclaim Journal, my own journal, Your Head is a Houseboat, and Kitchen Table Tarot. 3 tarot spreads is the full moon, the new moon, and the daily 1-card draw. 2 paraphernalia is my altar, which keeps all my mom's trinkets and anything that speaks to me. Candy over at Candy Soul and Soil, she just has a way of giving you permission to use the things that call to you. And I don't think that people who make YouTube content, tarot YouTube content, I don't know that they know how many lives they touch and how impactful the things that they do are. Candy touched me in such a particular way because when she feels like that there's something happening, something going on with her dolls or her cards or the goddesses that she works with, nature, she pulls it in and she uses it to help her day, her life, her week. It just gets her through. And when I realized how accepting I could be of all the things that work together in my life to speak to me or to pull me through difficult times, it's made every bit of difference in the world. It's wonderful. I wish I could send everybody a thank you card. Try to make notes on everybody's YouTube's videos that I really like, and I want to make sure that they know that I'm watching and I enjoy it and they've made an impact on me. But I'm not sure that that says enough. I'm not positive about who believes how important it is. So I should say that. So 2 paraphernalia, that's my altar, and the trinkets that are on my altar, and number 2 is my crystals. So that's 2 and 1 piece of devices. Don't give up. So this is Carrie, and I will see you guys later. I hope you have a great week.